And welcome back to Redbird Arena. Vernon Hills taking the floor. The Cougars trying to finish what they started a year ago, getting to the title game to come up short against Montini. They slayed that dragon yesterday, knocking out the Broncos, and Quincy Notre Dame is up next in our 3A title game that will be coming in just a couple of minutes or so, probably about 14 minutes until we tip things off between Quincy Notre Dame and Vernon Hills. Our games for today, 3A third place game with Montini coming up victorious in that. Whitney Young and Huntley will be our third place game a little bit later on. And then our title game between Marion Catholic, and we'll have Rolling Meadows. It'll be a rematch between those two teams of earlier in the regular season. Joined by head coach Eric Orn of Quincy Notre Dame, and taking the floor for the title game. What is that feeling like?
Oh, it never gets old. It's a great experience. Again, just so happy for the girls. They get to experience this. And now at 3A, obviously we have a tough game with Vernon Hills, so should be exciting.
How much does their size impact the way you play tonight?
Well, it's going to affect it in a lot of ways. Obviously, it's two different styles. We obviously are a fast break. They like to slow it down in the half court, use their size to their ability. So I think whatever team can come out, score some early points and settle down first will really set the tone.
Talked about getting off to a good start yesterday. The same hold true today, just no matter what, because of the way they play and their experience in the state championship game?
Oh, obviously, and every coach in the state would tell you want to get off to a good start. So we'll try to put on some pressure and try to take it right at them.
Has it even crossed your mind just winning 3 straight state championships, doing it in 2 different classes, and just kind of the legacy left behind at this point in Quincy?
You know, honestly, I reflect a little bit. Obviously, Jordan and Cassie have had tremendous careers, and they've really pulled this team together. Took a little time to really look at their talents, but it's been a lot of fun, and hopefully finishing their career at Redbird is a good way to do it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Eric Orn, the head coach of Quincy Notre Dame. It's a lot to take in, all the success that they've had in Quincy. Notre Dame Lady Raiders unbeaten once again, and 29-0, and they'll be going for another state championship, 2 in a row in Class 2A, and they're trying to do it in Class 3A. No one has ever won back-to-back state championships in 2 different classes in either boys or in girls basketball. With head coach Paul Bretner now of Vernon Hills, you've been here before, your kids have been here before. Second time around has to be a lot easier. They got to be a little looser today.
Got to be a better result than last year, right? Yeah, as long as we come out strong and take care of the basketball, I think we'll be right in the game.
Their tempo is a big factor in the way they play. How much have you talked about breaking their pressure full court?
Quite a bit. We used a fair amount of time today talking about it, trying to work through it a little bit so that hopefully a little successful and we don't give them those runouts that go on big points.
Lauren had a big game on a big stage yesterday. Mary as well. Just your stars have come up big. How much has that been important just to the Vernon Hills community watching the last 2 years that they've just shined at the right moment?
You give a big stage. It's nice that they step up, and Vernon Hills community is very supportive, and they love our kids, as they should. Great kids.
Zion's been very close. North Suburban basketball, not exactly known for state championship basketball. It's important to take control of the North Suburban as far as the conference goes, but you can put a state title on that today.
It would be nice. A lot of conference pride, a lot of community pride, especially the Prairie Division of the Suburban Conference. That'd be fantastic.
Okay, Coach, good luck tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach Paul Bretner, who is still under 500 for his career, but that's the success he's had recently. He's worked his way up, and this program has worked their way all the way to the state championship game for the 2nd straight year. Class 3A title game coming up next between Quincy Notre Dame and Vernon Hills. We'll have that for you momentarily right here on the IHSA Television Network. The following is a special presentation of the IHSA Television Network. One state champion down, one more state champion to go. The Vernon Hills Cougars knocked off the 3-time defending Montini Broncos to end their historic run. Next up is Quincy Notre Dame and the Lady Raiders, who shot the lights out to keep their perfect season alive. It's the Class 3A state title game as America's original March Madness continues next. Matchup. Quincy Notre Dame and Vernon Hills, the unbeaten Lady Raiders, and Vernon Hills experience from a year ago in the state championship game. And our 3A title is coming up next here on the IHSA television network. Hello, everyone. Matt Rodewald with you here at Redbird Arena. They're aiming for a three-peat. Quincy Notre Dame has been here before, but on a different weekend in Class 2A in the past. Now they've been bumped up to 3A, and the results have been the same all throughout the year, rolling to victory after victory in double digits, and they're going to try and do it today for a 30th win and a state championship. Vernon Hills has been here before, and you can see as we've gone through the day, 31-2, it's a school record for the Vernon Hills Cougars. Later tonight, we'll have Whitney Young and Huntley in our third place game, and Marion Catholic and Rolling Meadows coming up as well. Our 3A state championship is coming up between Quincy Notre Dame and the Lady Raiders and Vernon Hills and the Cougars. And for the call of that, let's send it over to Lee Hall and Jill Hutchison.
All right, Matt Rodewald, thank you very much. Well, we've got, Jill, one program that's been here before. This is old hat for Quincy Notre Dame. They've been to the top of the mountain. Vernon Hills building to that point, and both teams got here by playing their style of basketball yesterday.
And you know, I still think Vernon Hills is feeling like they're the underdog in spite of the fact they knocked off Montini in the semifinals. And Quincy Notre Dame, they're on a quest. Win 2 back-to-backs in different classes.
Let's take a look at the Lady Raiders first of all, and we begin with Jordan Frericks, one of their first-team All-Staters.
You know, she's impressed me as much as anybody. She's tall, she's lean, she's athletic, she can score away from the basket, she handles the ball like a guard. And I think she is definitely the go-to player for the Quincy Notre Dame team.
For Vernon Hills, it's Lauren Webb. What a game she had yesterday. She's moved to point guard this year, and she really did a lot of things well yesterday.
You're absolutely right, Lee. In fact, against the Montini press, she only had 3 turnovers. She shot it off the bounce. She got to the line, 12 for 14 at the free throw line to get to her 21 points. Great game by Lauren Webb.
So it'll be up-tempo Quincy Notre Dame against half-court Vernon Hills here for the state championship. Vernon Hills, the up-and-comer, maybe the underdog, ranked 7th in the final poll. Quincy Notre Dame, back-to-back state championships in 2A. They'll try to add a 3A state title to that resume here this afternoon. We'll have the starting lineups for you next on the IHSA TV network. We're back at Redbird Arena, just about to tip things off in our 3A Girls State Championship game between Quincy Notre Dame and the Cougars of Vernon Hills. Quincy Notre Dame led by Eric Orn, his 12th season, 331 and 74 his career mark. Started as the CYO coach for his niece, moved up to freshman coach when she moved on to high school, and then JV, and now the varsity coach. And you can't say enough about the job he's done at Quincy ND.
I'm totally impressed. His kids play like a machine. They're well executing. They know what they're doing. Lots of basketball IQ out there.
And you can see they've blown the doors off of the teams on the way to state here. Just an impressive display, and they are every bit what they've been advertised as yesterday against Morton.
They absolutely are, and they do it at both ends of the floor. They've got a very aggressive, up-tempo defense that creates their offense.
On the other side, it's Paul Bretner, his 13th season at Vernon Hills. He's been there since the school opened. 194 and 198, 31-2 this year. They lost back-to-back games back in January, and they've been on a roll ever since.
I was impressed with Paul yesterday. When Montini came back, he was so poised. He stayed so calm. He kept his kids focused and got them through that fourth quarter and overtime. Great job.
13 straight wins, including the final road to Redbird Arena here with the wins over Regina Dominican, Burlington Central, and then Montini yesterday. Led by 11, it got a little shaky in the fourth quarter as the Lady Broncos made a comeback and forced overtime. But a team that's able to withstand that and win in overtime, that's pretty special. Robert Diber, Heath Nykiel, and Alan Tolliver are officials. Let's throw it over to Matt. We've got an injury update already.
Yeah, nothing as far as to impact the Quincy Notre Dame rotation, but Olivia Heyer went down in warm-ups, and you can see her left knee is wrapped right now. Could be very concerned about it. She's in a lot of pain. She's not into the regular rotation, but just an ominous sign for Eric Orn and the Quincy Notre Dame Lady Raiders.
Boy, she's obviously in a lot of pain, and you hate to see that happen at any time of the year. like we said earlier, but especially here.
Yeah. She's a player, though, that does come off the bench for them, so that could be a factor.
Coming up tonight, we've got 4A girls basketball here on the IHSA TV network. Third place game between Whitney Young and Huntley, followed by Marion Catholic and Rolling Meadows for the state championship. One of those teams will win their first ever state title here tonight on Doug Collins Court here at Redbird Arena.
Yeah, big upset last night. Marion Catholic over Whitney Young. A bit of a surprise, I think, for some people, but Marion Catholic played exceptionally well in that game. And Rolling Meadows, just well-disciplined, well-controlled against Huntley.
Quincy Notre Dame beat that Rolling Meadows team in overtime back in February.
It makes you wonder, you know, if Quincy Notre Dame could just run the table of all classes. They seem to have done it against everybody and anybody.
Now they've had quite a run under Cassidy Gengenbacher and Jordan Frericks. They're seniors. Then you get a look at Mary Bennett Swanson. She's done quite a job with the Vernon Hills team as well. Let's go over to Jeff Fritzen, our PA announcer.
The 2013 IHSA Girls State Basketball Finals. First, from Notre Dame High School in Quincy, a junior, number 3, Kristen Gengenbacher. From Vernon Hills, a junior, number 1, Sydney Smith. For Notre Dame, a senior, number 15, Cassidy Gengenbacher. For Vernon Hills, a senior, number 12, Alina Lahaki. For Notre Dame, a senior, number 22, Jordan Frericks. For Vernon Hills, a senior, number 23, Bree Ballman. For Notre Dame, a junior, number 24, Mary Beth Hugenberg. For Vernon Hills, a junior, number 42, Lauren Webb. For Notre Dame, a junior, number 31, Cassidy Foley. And for Vernon Hills, a senior, number 50, Mary Bennett Swanson. Notre Dame brings a 29-0 record into today's game. The Lady Raiders are coached by Eric Orn in his 13th season with a record of 332 wins and 73 losses. Vernon Hills brings a 31-2 record into the game.
52 straight wins for Quincy Notre Dame, 8-0 against ranked teams this year. They won 78 straight against teams from the state of Illinois. 13 straight wins this season for Vernon Hills. As you can see, the win streaks coming into today's action, 52 in a row for Quincy Notre Dame.
Well, and if you looked at just in state, they have 77. That's impressive.
All right, our national anthem coming up next.
Alex DeMack, a student at Bishop McNamara Catholic High School in Kankakee, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watch, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Vernon Hills and Quincy Notre Dame
Now
for
as
the
the
state
players and
title in
coaches,
Class 3A. Coming up next.
Financial security, no matter where you're starting from.
And we're ready to tip things off. Quincy Notre Dame and Vernon Hills for the state championship. Vernon Hills second a year ago. Quincy Notre Dame back-to-back 2A state championships. One of them will walk away with a title here today.
Whoa.
It doesn't take Quincy Notre Dame long. Cassidy Foley with the layup as you take a look at their starting lineups. That's almost like a set play off the tip, isn't it?
It is a set play, and they've obviously run it more than once.
Look at the Vernon Hills lineup as they turn it over on their first possession. Great crowd for both teams here today.
It's really awesome. Both schools have lots of kids, lots of community.
A colorful crowd for Quincy
Yeah,
Notre Dame.
for sure.
Vernon Hills kids in black today. They were all wearing white yesterday. Inside the bucket for Jordan Frericks. She averages 17.5 a game.
I think she's a special player. She's very athletic for a 6'2" kid.
Headed to the University of Missouri to play basketball.
You know, I keep being impressed, though, with Mary Bennett Swanson. She is talking to her team the whole time out there.
Lauren Webb's three-point attempt is no good. Here come the Lady Raiders. Cassidy Gengenbacher. Her pass nearly picked off. And it'll be Vernon Hills' ball. Vernon Hills lost last year to Montini 56-38 in the state championship game. Frericks with the steal, missed the bunny though.
She got it back.
Cassidy Gengenbacher to Frericks, the two All-Staters back to back.
I'll tell you what, they are intense.
And Vernon Hills turns it over again.
Vernon Hills attacked the zone press by Montini so well yesterday. They're having a little trouble to get go on this one.
Cassidy Foley gets loose down low, and she's fouled. She's a 5'8" junior. She had 6.7 steals in yesterday's win over Morton.
I tell you, she's amazing. She's got championships in basketball, volleyball, and soccer. Have a all-around athlete.
She's undefeated. This is her 5th state championship game. 1 in volleyball, 1 in soccer, 2 in basketball.
Lauren Webb had a chance on that board and just could not control it.
What was their lead yesterday? 14-0 over Morton to start the game.
Yeah.
Cassidy Gengenbacher the miss. Here comes Vernon Hills the other way.
Oh, wow. Foley got smacked in the face by the ball, I think.
Quincy Notre Dame got the takeaway,
Yeah,
but
there were 2 players going after. Oh, it was with the head, I think. Oh, that hurts. She's a tough kid, too. You know, she's been through the wars.
looked like she was kind of pointing at her eye socket.
Yeah.
She'll take a break.
Nice press defense there by Notre Dame. They are known for their defense. They're a little bit smaller team than some they have played, so they have to really focus on the defensive part of the game.
Hugenberg inside, blocked. Bennett Swanson blocked it again. And Erica Obert's in there now for Notre Dame, taking the place of Cassidy Foley. 7-0 the Notre Dame lead. We're just a little over 2 minutes into the 3A state title game. Lee Hall, longtime ISU coach Jill Hutchison, Matt Rodewald with you here at Redbird Arena.
Nice pressure on the ball by Vernon Hills is bothering Quincy Notre Dame just a little.
Frerick steps inside, top of the key jumper. When you got an ATM card, the bank's always open, Coach.
Yes, man. When you get it off the glass, you know things are going your way. Lauren Webb just amazes me. That kid is not a natural point guard, and she's getting it done.
Whistle against Quincy Notre Dame's Jordan Frericks. Vernon Hills gets the ball. They've yet to score. Sydney Smith with it.
Sid the Kid, they call her.
Bennett Swanson inside. Nice move through the double team.
What an emotional response by Bennett Swanson, running down the court trying to fire up her teammates.
11.6 boards a game for Mary Bennett Swanson. The Hugenberg shot off the mark. It looked like it almost got kicked over to Frericks. She missed. And now she's over the back. If that's on Frericks, that'll be her second already.
I think it must have been. It is on her.
Eric Orn very frustrated on that Quincy Notre Dame sideline. He's going to have to bring his All-Stater out.
Yeah, he's not a happy camper.
Quincy Notre Dame, a 9-2 lead, but one of their stars, their leading scorer, second leading scorer, in foul trouble.
We are probably a middle ground team. We don't really push the ball except maybe opportunistically, and we rather play some defense in the half court. So feeding off it, we make sure we get back in defensive transition. If we're going to run on defense, and then offensively we're going to seize some opportunities if they're there, but for the most part we'd rather, play half court basketball both ways.
Well, we'll see how that works here today against Quincy Notre Dame, who likes to push, push, push.
Well, I think that makes this game one of tempo, and whoever can control the tempo could have the biggest advantage, especially now that the tallest player for Notre Dame is sitting on the bench for probably the rest of this half.
Sid Smith can't come up with that one. Hugenberg very close to over and back. Cassidy Gengenbacher off the glass, no good. Her sister gets it, and she's fouled.
Quincy is really attacking the glass, both offensively and going after the rebounds and getting those second chance opportunities.
Kristen Gengenbacher will go to the line here. She's a 5'8" junior, younger sister of Cassidy. 68% free thrower, bounces the first one no good.
She's also a member of the state championship volleyball, and I'm not sure if softball's won state yet. Maybe the only sport that hasn't at Notre Dame.
Eric Orn is also the head softball coach.
Right. And Foley is coming back after getting banged in the eye, I think.
Quincy Notre Dame's last in-state loss came on this floor 3 years ago to Bloomington Central Catholic in the state championship game. 10-2 lead for the Lady Raiders. And the takeaway, Hugenberg couldn't finish, and she's called for the foul. How often do you see that when the player misses an easy shot and then they make a foul right away?
It's a frustration foul, and they just overplayed that. But if Notre Dame wants to play their press the way they do, they're going to have to quit fouling. And the turnovers right now, 6 for Vernon Hills, tells you how effective this Quincy Notre Dame defense has been.
Webb throws over the top of it. They've got a 2-on-1, but here comes Cassidy Foley to break that up. Now it's swatted away by Haley Lieberman the other way.
A little tit for tat there. Nice play by Lieberman.
Foul on 31, Cassidy Foley. First personal, fourth.
Cassidy Foley picks up the foul there.
It's the little scutters that keep stealing the ball from each other.
Scutters?
Scutters, little scutters. The crumb hustlers.
Ingenbacher right up in the grill of Lauren Webb. Steps through the double team. Here's Sid Smith now. That baseline jumper won't go for Casey Fernbach into the ball game for Vernon Hills.
Boy, credit Notre Dame. Vernon Hills had some shots right inside under the basket, and they weren't able to finish.
Sid Smith couldn't get that one to fall. Gengenbacher for three. 18.5 points a game for Cassidy Gengenbacher, the All-Stater.
Boy, she did that all in rhythm, too. That's going to be a foul, I think, on Gengenbacher.
A lot of defensive fouls for Notre Dame in this one. In the backcourt on that press.
Yeah, Gengenbacher, a good three-point shooter. She averages almost 2 a game, but it at 45%. Most kids don't shoot that from the layup.
That's already 5 team fouls on the Lady Raiders, so that's something Eric Warren has to be concerned about in the early going here, even with an 11-point lead.
Well, especially if it continued to be on key players like Gengenbach and Frericks.
Bree Ballman loses it out of bounds. Gengenbacher touched it last.
She's got some quick feet, doesn't she? Gengenbacher, defensively, I thought that was a good possession for her.
Only 1 field goal for Vernon Hills, and we've played over 5 minutes. Takeaway for the Lady Raiders again. Kristen Gengenbacher takes it up strong to the hoop. And Paul Bretner has to call timeout. What a take here by Cassidy Gengenbacher. Kristen Gengenbacher.
Yeah, in traffic. I mean, there's 3 white shirts between her and the basket, and she finishes. And again, a 5'8" kid going against some 6-footers.
10 points off turnovers so far for Quincy Notre Dame. 7 Vernon Hills turnovers.
Wow. I'm surprised they're having this much trouble with the press, but I think Notre Dame plays a tremendous defense.
We saw Quincy Notre Dame get off to a quick start yesterday against Morton, 24-5.
Well, that was a ball game yesterday, frankly.
Well, it's funny, you look back at the score sheets now from the 2 Morton games. They won 3 of the quarters against Quincy Notre Dame. They won 3 of the quarters against Montini and lost both games.
Yeah, and they just gave up too many points in each of those quarters. And right now, Quincy Notre Dame is controlling everything in this quarter, and Vernon Hills is struggling to score. I'm surprised they aren't trying to use some of their height in the paint now with Frericks on the bench. But Swanson is going to the bench too, so.
Jordan Frericks sitting with 2 personal fouls. Be interesting to see when Eric Warren brings her back. You think we'll see her in the first half?
You know, if he doesn't have to, I don't think he
Right.
will.
Why would
and
you?
he's
Right.
up by 13 right now, so he may wait until the second half. Sometimes that's tough on a kid that's used to playing all the time to sit that long and then come back and really get your game going.
Vernon Hills with only 4 field goal attempts. There's a tie up. And it'll be Vernon Hills' ball. Paul Bretner says his team feeds off tempo. Right now that tempo is in favor of Quincy Notre Dame as Lauren Webb uses that offhand, and the Notre Dame fans don't like it. They get it inside to Casey Fernbach, the sophomore. Hugenberg loses it. And Quincy Notre Dame with the turnover.
Well, it looks like Paul Bretner's gone with a smaller lineup and possibly better ball handlers in an effort to try and beat this pressure and get his kids back in this game.
Catherine Kozwara, number 13, with it. She turns it over. Hugenberg gets it, gets the layup, but it won't drop. She'll go to the line.
That wasn't even a difficult steal that time. I think they're going to have to, Vernon Hills is going to have to start moving off the ball to get to passing lanes rather than making the ball handler create the passing lane.
Mary Beth Hugenberg, 10.6 boards in yesterday's win over Morton. Eric Horn says she's a breakout performer for his team.
Mary Bennett Swanson.
You mentioned too at one point that she's a wild card. People don't expect her to do a lot, and when she steps up like she did yesterday, she can be a difference maker.
69% at the line, bounces the second one, no good. Battle for the rebound. Sid Smith comes out of there with it. 16-4 the lead for Quincy Notre Dame. Bree Ballman takes it strong to the hoop, almost lost it, but hangs on and scores.
Bauman is an all-state soccer player going to Appalachian State next year to play soccer. Notice now, because they scored, they're forcing Notre Dame to have to set up in the half court and not play their up-tempo transition.
Cassidy Gengenbacher's three rings and misses. Mary Bennett Swanson with a little size mismatch, can't get it to drop, battles for the rebound. Might have gotten away with a foul there.
Boy, once again, I've got to believe they're going to continue to try and go into Bennett Swanson.
Sid Smith, the long three off the back of the rim. That'll be Mary Bennett Swanson with the foul.
That's pretty impressive when the little kids can block out the big kids, and that was just the case. Kenna Keating is the one that had that block out that set up the foul.
Anna Marcola into the lineup for Quincy Notre Dame. Final minute of the first quarter, QND led by as many as 13. We've got a 10-point lead in the ball here. Marcola out of the double team. Vernon Hills almost came up with a turnover, but Ballman stepped out of bounds.
Well, they're doing a nice job trapping against the sideline here and then rotating to get into passing lanes.
Lauren Webb got a hand on it.
Boy, what a size advantage Vernon Hills has over Notre Dame.
They're talking it over.
I think one official saw it one way and the other saw it the other way. Yeah.
.3 left in the quarter. Lauren Webb brings it across against the pressure. Alina Lahaki nowhere to go. Bennett Swanson wants it inside. Bennett Swanson at the buzzer, off the glass and good. Really powerful job by Mary Bennett Swanson down on the post.
Well, and they were looking for her that whole time, and she made herself available, and that's what a good post player does. But that gives Vernon Hills a little bit of momentum going into this second quarter, Lee.
Quincy Notre Dame's led by as many as 13. They take an 8-point lead to the second quarter.
IHSA Network Basketball is presented by Country Financial. What's your idea of financial security? Visit countryfinancial.com and we'll help you achieve financial security no matter where you're starting from.
A mirror image from last year as Vernon Hills down by 16 to 3 as we started the second quarter in the title game a year ago. This time around, they had a nice finish to that quarter. Listening to Paul Bretner in that timeout in between quarters, he said to his kids, now you know what it looks like. Looking like they're trying to get comfortable with the pressure and getting it into the half-court set. They'll be more successful, guys.
All right, man, thank you very much. Vernon Hills a little 6-2 run to end the quarter after being down 15-2. Good hustle by the Lady Raiders. Jump ball call, and it will stay with Vernon Hills.
It's Quincy Keating again, coming off the bench, really hustling inside in the paint. Wow.
Lauren Webb with a
that was
solid
like
screen.
walking into a brick wall.
She gets the inbounds play, the bucket, and the foul.
Officials are really trying to call this fairly tightly, which is making it difficult for Quincy Notre Dame that likes to get their hand on every ball.
12 of 14 at the line yesterday. Lauren Webb, the three-point play. 7-0 run for Vernon Hills.
Oh, Vernon Hills is back in a 2-3 zone. They've played man the entire weekend.
Paul Bretner talked to us about that the other day and said, sometimes when I change defenses, it gives them a little bit of a jump in their step. They get energized.
Yeah, and I can see that happening.
And here's a turnover for Quincy Notre Dame.
How long will he wait for Fredericks? Almost. She started to jump up, but not quite.
Still up 5. Jordan Fredericks, 2 early fouls. Lauren Webb makes a move and scores. Lauren Webb, 12.5 points a game.
Nice spin move by Webb. She's strong with her right hand.
That's a 9-0 run now.
It looks like the zone is kind of bothering Notre Dame. They're standing still, and that's not their style.
Now the tempo edge would seem to favor Vernon Hills.
Yes, it definitely does. Well, I think a zone always changes tempo. It forces you to in a slower game.
Bennett Swatson got a hand on that one. Sid Smith makes a move. Scoops, no good. And the foul against Vernon Hills.
Tough rebound by Keating. She's giving up almost 4 inches in the paint there.
We saw a lot of Quincy Keating, the sophomore, in yesterday's game. She scored 6 points. And here's Jordan Fredericks. So with 6:10 to go in the second, she's back in with 2 fouls.
I feel like it's the Tonight Show. Here's Jordan.
Not The Shining?
Nah. I don't think so.
Honey, I'm home. 6 minutes to go. Second quarter action.
Nice
little back
door.
cut. Gengenbacher. That's Kristen. Little assist with 5, and that ends a 9-0 run for Vernon Hills. Lauren Webb hauls that one in. Here's another long pass to Bennett Swatson.
Oh.
That's one she should make.
Yeah, she's going to want that one back.
Kristen Gengenbacher again, strong to the hoop.
Again, splitting 3 players to get all the way inside, but that's the tempo Notre Dame wants.
She's listed at 5'8". That might be a little generous. The 3 is good for Sid, the kid.
Smith is the best 3-point shooter for the Cougars. She shoots it at 31%.
Her first basket of the game. 5 minutes to go now, second quarter. Got ourselves a ball game now. It was a 13-point lead for Quincy Notre Dame early. Vernon Hills has stormed back to get within 4. Cassidy Gengenbacher can't finish. Fredericks had a hand on the rebound, but tapped it out to Vernon Hills. It's loose on the floor. Foley rolls it out of bounds, and it'll be Vernon Hills' ball.
Yeah, Foley's upset with herself for doing that.
4:32 to go, second quarter. Vernon Hills back in this one, down 4.
Well, you know, growing up in the 90s, obviously watching Loyola Marymount and that style, UNLV, I loved it. Getting home late, watching those games is fantastic. Obviously a big fan of Hank Gathers before he passed, but I just thought it was an exciting brand of basketball. And I tell you, you make other teams forced to defend you full court, and when you do that, you create the up-tempo style, and I think it's hard to defend a lot of times.
The running Rebel.
Yeah, they were exciting, and Eric Warren has really got his Notre Dame team playing at that tempo. Kids love this tempo. I mean, they like pushing the ball and playing full court and making things happen.
Sid Smith, another three. She hits her second three, back to back.
She's about 6 feet off the arc on that shot. That was a great shot.
1 point game. Frericks, check that Gengenbacher at the other end to answer. Cassidy's second three of the game.
And that's what Cassidy Gengenbacher does best. And there's her sister on that steal. Both teams are shooting the three very well. 2 for 5 and 2 for 4.
Hugenberg got the rebound, but the Cardinal rule and the Cardinal sin, bringing the ball down when you get the rebound.
Yeah, exactly.
Vernon Hill's got the tie-up. It's Lady Raiders ball. There's the
Notice
three
how
again.
far off Sid Smith was when she got that shot.
Bree Ballman whistled for the foul. That's like a horse shot.
It was. That was amazing.
Vernon Hills following 23, Bree Ballman, her first 6.
Ballman just overplaying in the corner there, got that call.
Quincy Notre Dame led by 13 early.
Wow, we got bodies all over the floor.
Here's Jordan Frericks. Baseline drive, wow.
First step went right past Lauren Webb, and she's no slouch. That was a great move by Frericks.
8 for Frericks, despite sitting most of the first quarter with foul trouble. Quickly ahead down low, and the bucket for Vernon Hills. Katie Bretman with the bucket.
Yeah, Notre Dame's got to pressure that ball to prevent that pass into the overload.
Frericks isolation. Got her all alone over there, one-on-one. She's awfully tough to stop.
Well, I tell you what,
I'm not sure if there's anybody here that can.
I agree. I think she's impressive.
Webb fouled by Gengenbacher. It's her second.
Frericks can do it with or without the pressure, and she can be physical with anybody in spite of how thin she looks.
All-time leading scorer, over 1,800 points at Quincy Notre Dame.
I think we're going to see Vernon Hills go back in a zone here again.
Both teams in the bonus. Several Division I athletes out here. Lauren Webb getting looks from Central Michigan, Evansville, Loyola, and Kent State so far.
Yeah, there could be several teams that add to that list after this weekend.
7-2 run for the Lady Raiders.
Now we got a little half-court 1-3-1 trapping defense by Vernon Hills here. That zone look at the beginning goes into a man defense here for Vernon Hills. It's really forcing Notre Dame to be very patient.
Kristen Gengenbacher kicks to Frericks. She drives on Bennett Swanson and draws the foul.
Yeah, Frericks is open for the three, but she's only shot 2 for 3 for the season, so she's not real eager to launch the trifecta here.
She had 26 in the super sectional win over Breeze Mater Dei earlier this week. 64% free thrower.
It's just another day at the office for Frericks. She shows up every time.
Jordan Frericks, Cassidy Gengenbacher leading this team to a 123-5 record the last 4 years. She's not perfect, but she's close.
She's doing a whole lot of things right, that's for darn sure.
7-point lead. Webb gets loose down low. Bennett Swanson got a hand on the rebound, but Quincy Notre Dame controls with 2 minutes to go in the half.
Oh, nice pass by
Nice
Foley.
drive and dish. Foley with the give to Hugenberg.
Foley is just a heady player. I really like the way she thinks out there. Quincy Notre Dame pulled back their press on this last minute and a half. They're going to try and just dog them in the front court. 5-second call that time.
Paul Bretner pleads his case on the sideline to no avail.
Quincy Notre Dame is pressing in one form or another the whole game. They're not even breathing heavy. I mean, these kids are really in shape.
Vernon Hills pulled within 4, but it's a 10-2 run now by Quincy Notre Dame. The two-time defending 2A state champs trying to add a 3A state championship to their resume.
They've got Frericks and Cassidy Gengenbacher on the bench right now for this last minute of this first half. And they are just burning clock.
Well played by Eric Orn here in the second quarter. He brought Jordan Frericks in, which seemed like maybe a risky move with 6:10 to play, but she did not pick up that third foul.
Wow.
Cassidy Gengenbacher, Kristen Gengenbacher rather, the miss. Here comes Vernon Hills the other way.
Quincy's not giving Sid Smith another open look out there at that three-point arc.
9-point lead for the two-time defending 2A state champs. Notre Dame whistled for the foul. That'll be on Alina Lahaki. It'll be free throws for Vernon Hills.
Vernon Hills made their living at the free throw line yesterday, so they know how important these shots are. Notre Dame with their big studs back in the game. Gengenbacher and Frericks back on the floor with 8.6 left.
Bree Ballman 68% at the line this year. She had 9 rebounds. Check that, 10 rebounds yesterday against Montini. Seven-point game. Frericks at the buzzer. Actually, had a little more time than she thought.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because she really didn't have a handle on the ball when she threw that up.
Quincy Notre Dame jumped out to a 13-point lead. Vernon Hills bounced back with a 9-0 run at the end of the first, beginning of the second. And we've got ourselves a ball game. 7-point lead for Vernon Hills at the half. Let's go to, or well, for Quincy Notre Dame rather. Let's go to Matt Rodewald.
Well, a 15-2 start, and then Jordan got into some foul trouble. How long were you going to wait till she came back in?
You can't wait too long. It's a championship game. It was unfortunate, but we learned to play with it all year like that. Sometimes when she gets in foul trouble, we just have to adjust, and we did a good job.
Okay, Coach, good luck in a second. Head Coach Eric Orn. We'll be back here, the IHSA State Championship game for Class 3A here on the IHSA Television Network.
And we are back at Redbird Arena. The Quincy Notre Dame fans calm for the moment, but they haven't been much today as their Lady Raiders lead it here at the half. Lee Hall, longtime ISU head coach Jill Hutchison with you. 30-23 halftime score. You look at the points in the paint, you look at the points off turnovers, and those numbers favor the Lady Raiders. That's probably why the scoreboard reads that way too, isn't it?
Well, honestly, 11 turnovers by Vernon Hills translated to 13 points for Quincy Notre Dame, and that didn't hurt their cause at all. Their press is tough, and they're long, and they hustle. They give you a lot of pressure.
Vernon Hills down 13 early, but they were able to rally. Let's take a look at our first half highlights from Redbird Arena, Class 3A state championship action, and it was all Lady Raiders early.
They started off this game just like they did in the semifinals against Morton, and they were hitting everything.
Jordan Frerichs stepping in here.
Yeah, they have some balance, but Frerichs is definitely the moneymaker. But then Vernon Hills woke up, and once they got going, well, and the defense for both teams, I thought, made a difference here. We saw the younger Gingenbacher do 2 of those penetrations that really made a difference. Sydney Smith got that one. She also hit a couple of threes that ignited the Vernon Hills group. And Lauren Webb started where she left off yesterday. I think she's had a tremendous game. But, you know, both these teams are kind of in sync now. And it'll be interesting to see how they respond, because the first 5 minutes of this second half could be the difference in the ball game.
After battling foul trouble, it was Jordan Frerichs coming back in and scoring there. Both teams shooting it pretty well, 48% for Quincy Notre Dame. Vernon Hills, 53%. Rebounds, Vernon Hills with the edge there. The 11 turnovers a key in this one. Let's go over to Matt Rodewald.
You know, we've seen this before where there's that early start, you take that punch, and then you rallied. How do you get control of this here in the second half?
I think if we can stick to our defensive game plan, maybe just a little bit better, and then offensively take care of the basketball. We had too many unforced turnovers, get a couple more possessions, a couple more offensive rebounds. I think we make a 7-point lead a much closer game.
Do you think your kids are now a little more comfortable having seen that pressure for a first half?
I think so. I think once we weathered that storm, I think we're feeling a little more confident now.
Okay, Paul Bredner, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Head coach of the Vernon Hills Cougars, back for the second straight time. They got some work to do. Down by 7 here at halftime of our Class 3A state championship game. We'll have the second half for you in a moment here on the IHSA television network.
And we're ready to get going here in the second half. Class 3A state tournament action. It's been a game of runs, Jill Hutchison. 15-2 start for Quincy Notre Dame. 7-0 run, 7-2 run. Back and forth in this game as Lauren Webb gets it started here in the second half for Vernon Hills.
Well, I think the game is always a game of runs if we've got a good game, and now it's a question of who is going to be able to maintain it the longest.
Sid Smith gets a hand on it, and she comes up with the loose ball. Vernon Hills trying to cut into that 5-point lead, but they turn it over. Hugenberg, lefty jumper, bounces, no good. Lauren Webb, rebound. Tied up, and that'll be the third foul on Jordan Frerichs.
Yeah, Frerichs has got to really be careful, because the difference in the game right now has been Frerichs. When she's on the floor, Notre Dame is a different team.
Eric Warren will have to go to his bench. He's visibly frustrated on that sideline, losing his first team All-Stater to start the second half now.
I can't say I blame him. She's a key player. Nice play by Cassidy Gingenbach.
She takes it away from Lauren Webb, and Webb whistled for the foul.
Vernon Hills foul on 42. Lauren Webb is her first personal. First team foul, number 20.
You know, Notre Dame's going to have some big shoes to fill next year with the graduation of Cassidy Gingenbacher and Jordan Frerichs. But they've got a pretty active young bench that has contributed.
Frustrating afternoon for Frerichs. Gwenna Keating back in there now for Quincy Notre Dame. They start to do a little half-court trap here.
Keating was wide open earlier, and they didn't see her off that baseline.
And now Ballman fouled. She hit the floor hard.
Yeah, she banged her head, I think. Notre Dame, is all over the ball, though. They pressure the ball every chance possible.
Notre Dame foul on 15, Cassidy Gingenbacher. Her third personal.
And that's the third foul on Cassidy Gingenbacher. So the two first-team All-Staters now with 3 fouls each. Cassidy stays in the game. Pass inside, no good for the senior Alina Wahaki. Frericks off the glass, yes. Check that. That is Kristen Gengenbacher.
She's made 2 or 3 of those today in traffic. Good eye on the basket.
Kristen with 9 points. She hustles after the ball, and it's a whistle. And it's anybody's guess when there's 2 players diving on the floor. I think it was against Webb.
Webb's getting it, but she uses her arm a lot to hold position, and I think that's what may have happened that time. You know, a lot of talk about Cassidy Gengenbacher and Frerick, but whoa, nice turnover that time by Vernon Hills. Kristen Gengenbacher has done her share of the hard work in this game as well.
And then Swanson drives baseline and scores.
Big kick and put it on the floor.
She had 10 points against Montini in yesterday's semifinals.
DePaul University is going to like having her. She's a nice, versatile 6'2" player.
Vernon Hills back within 5. Cassidy Gengenbacher for 3. They call her Big Shot Cass. Webb drives and travels.
Vernon Hills has become much more aggressive in this half than they started the game, and their aggressiveness, in spite of that foul, is really helping their game.
Cassidy Gengenbacher, that's a 3. Her third 3 of the game. She's got 9.
Confident player. She missed one and came right back and shot the next one.
8-point lead for the Lady Raiders. Bennett Swanson, nice post up.
I really think Vernon Hills could do that all day while Frericks is on the bench.
First Division I player to come out of Vernon Hills High School. She's whistled for the foul there on the drive by Foley.
That's going to be her third foul as well. That will put both big players on the bench.
Well, Frericks is out with 3. Cassidy Gengenbacher still in the game with 3.
And Bennett's about to go out with 3.
Foley's free throw bounces in, and she does take a seat. Casey Fernbach, 5'10" sophomore, back into the game. Foley a 60% free thrower. Gets them both to go. It's an 8-point lead for the Lady Raiders. They're weathering the storm here. An 8-point lead in spite of having their first team All-Stater on the bench with 3 fouls.
Well, we have a lot of selfless players, which is really a fun thing to play with. Our point guard, Lauren, does a really good job with distributing the ball. Sid knows which shots she needs to take. And then Bree and Alina, Liebs, everybody off the bench are really great at knowing which shots are theirs, passing, looking off for cutters, cutting, moving, screening. I mean, everything. We have a very functioning offense, which is really fun to play and be a part of.
Mary Bennett Swanson, one of 3 Vernon Hills players to average in double figures, so they do share the basketball very well.
I think she's definitely been a factor this weekend as well. She's given them an inside presence.
5 count on Lauren Webb, can't get rid of it.
Tell you what, that's tremendous denial defense by 4 players off the ball for Quincy Notre Dame.
Kristen Gangenbacher right up in her face, too, on defense. 16 turnovers for Vernon Hills. That's been the bugaboo for them in this ball game.
Well, they had 25 yesterday against Montini and still won the game. So obviously they're kind of used to it.
Reed Ballman with nowhere to go in the corner.
What an effort by Foley down there, though, going after that loose ball. Foley is so active. She is just a competitor.
Eight-point game here. Quincy Notre Dame jumped out to a 15-2 lead. Vernon Hills fought back to get that lead cut down to 4 at one point.
Bauman with their own rebound in there. She was a factor on the boards yesterday with 10 rebounds.
Notre Dame fouls on number 3, Kristen Gangenbacher.
Fouls on Kristen Gangenbacher. That's just her first. Ballman puts it on the floor. Can't get it to go.
You've got Lahaki really trying to pressure Cassidy Gangenbacher here, and that forces a turnover.
Sid Smith the steal. Lauren Webb drives in the lane, the sweet touch.
Nicely done by the 6-foot point guard, and she doesn't use her left very often, but when she does, she's effective.
Vernon Hills back within 6. Lauren Webb with 9.
Notre Dame really trying to open it up here.
Foley pull-up jumper. She claims it was touched and tipped, but I just think she short-armed it.
I thought she did too, but it's hard telling from here. You can hear, though, Eric Warren yelling at some of his kids to look for their shots, especially Kristen Gangenbacher.
Mary Bennett Swanson back in with those 3 personal fouls. Cassidy Gangenbacher never left. She's got 3. Jordan Frericks on the Quincy Notre Dame bench with 3.
Notre Dame's the only team here with 2 AP first teamers in Gangenbacher and Frericks.
Lauren Webb fouled.
Second personal.
Kristen Gangenbacher her second.
Yeah, as this clock continues to wind down, 2 minutes left in the third quarter, fouls are becoming a factor for Notre Dame.
Lauren Webb drives baseline. She'll go to the line for free throws.
Once again, the aggressor gets the spoils here, and because Vernon Hills is attacking the bucket aggressively, they're making a lot of things happen.
Lauren Webb goes to the line, 3-year starter for Vernon Hills. Very good free throw as we saw here yesterday.
She's not your typical point guard though, Lee, and this is her first season playing at the point. She has the size to pass over so many other guards.
Played for her the last 2 years for Paul Bretner. She makes it a 4-point game with those 2 free throws. So Vernon Hills hanging right in there, and this early second half, it's kind of muddy, kind of a slugfest, kind of what I think Vernon Hills likes.
Well, it's at their tempo, that's for sure right now, because both teams are kind of slowing it down in the half court, and there haven't been a lot of open, fast break opportunities for either team.
If you're Quincy Notre Dame, how do you start to get that back? How do you force your tempo on them?
You know, I think their defense is going to do that. The more they trap and force turnovers, the more they're going to kick-start their offense.
All right, let's send it over to Matt Rodewald.
Well, as we always say, Championship Saturday turns to Celebration Sunday unless you don't want to wait to party, and Vernon Hills they're going to get after it tonight. 10:30. When they get back home, they're going to celebrate at the school tonight at 8:30. So make sure you're up there. If you're up there going on over to the high school, it's right behind. You can do some shopping today, Vernon Hills. You got Hawthorne Mall right there, and then you can go over to Vernon Hills and celebrate. As for Quincy Notre Dame, well, they're going to do their thing on Monday as they get set up for the old fire truck parade. Win or lose, they're going to do that. Everyone meet at the Kmart, and then you can go in the parade. And then 1:45, they're going to celebrate at the school, and that's coming up on Monday. Got some cheerleaders, some that shouldn't be dressed as cheerleaders, Lee. You got some bananas, you got some giant heads and some other weird things in the student section for these guys this year. They're veterans of the state championships. They know what it's like.
I love the Pharaoh. I've never seen a Pharaoh before. That's, you know, maybe that's the history lover in me. He's way up there. I'm not sure if it's Ramesses II or who he is, but maybe King Tut.
There we go again. It looks like Vernon Hills is playing a triangle in two. It's a combination defense, that's for sure.
Paul Bretner digging down into his bag of tricks here in the final minute and a half.
They're playing Cassidy Gengenbacher in man. It may be a box and chaser here.
You have to be 21 to. Oh, that's a different chaser. Never mind.
Yeah. Wow.
Cassidy Gengenbacher knocks in the three.
That was a big time shot. She is the clutch shooter for Quincy Notre Dame.
Her 4th-3 of the afternoon. All-time leader at Quincy Notre Dame in three-point shots.
Well, and Eric Gorin calls her the coach on the court, and that's probably one reason she's staying out there with 3 fouls.
Back to a 7-point Quincy Notre Dame lead, and whistle will go against Foley. Her second.
Yeah, she just lost her balance on that.
Here comes Jordan Frericks with 48.3 to go in the third.
It's interesting he's putting her in with that little time left in this quarter. Obviously, he doesn't want the game to get away from him at this point.
Steal by Hugenberg. Lady Raiders won't hold for one. Are you kidding?
Mary Bennett Swanson got a hand on that.
Bree Ballman, she's fouled. And that's 3 on Foley.
Notre Dame's really playing with 7 players, and of the 7, they have 3 with 3 fouls. I'll take that back. They're showing Cassidy, yeah, with 3. Yeah, they have 3 starters with 3 fouls right now.
And now a foul on the rebound.
And that will be on Hugenberger, and that's her 3rd as well.
Mary Beth Hugenberg picks up the personal.
Mary Beth Hugenberg, her 3rd.
That's 18 fouls. So a couple of more whistles and it'll be double bonus for Vernon Hills the rest of the way. Honorable mention All-Stater. Lauren Webb now with 12 points. Vernon Hills back within 5.
They've had the momentum in this 3rd quarter without a doubt.
Frericks in the lane. Tough effort there over the double team. She'll go to the line.
She did a good job getting the shot off to be able to get her 2 free throws out of that play. Only the 4th foul, though, by Vernon Hills.
4-year starter, all-time leading scorer for the Lady Raiders.
Frericks headed for Mizzou. And Robin Pinchton.
Former ISU coach. She misses the second. Vernon Hills maybe with a last shot opportunity if they can get it off in time from half court. Just a little short on that one. It's a 41-35 lead for the 2-time defending 2A state champs. A 3A state title on the line when we come back.
And welcome back to Redbird Arena as we get set to start our 4th quarter. Quincy Notre Dame up by 6, but in doubt at this point. Let's remind you what about the history is at stake here for these next 8 minutes. Quincy Notre Dame hasn't lost to an opponent from the state of Illinois since 2010. Looking for their 3rd straight state championship after winning 2 in a row the last 2 years. They could become the first team to do that since Teutopolis, Bolingbrook, and Montini, joining those 3 teams to be the only ones to win 3 straight state championships. Vernon Hills has been the veteran of this group as well, having been here a year ago. 2 teams with all sorts of experience going down to the wire here in Normal.
All right, Matt, thanks a lot. He says his girls thrive off these bright lights and the big games. And there you look at all the foul trouble on both sides, particularly for Quincy Notre Dame.
Yeah, with key players, they've got to stay out of foul trouble this quarter, and they need to keep Vernon Hills off the line.
They've been a good free throwing team all year. Frericks inside over the double team. Won't go. Bennett Swanson tips it to Smith.
I think Quincy's had a little trouble against that combination defense.
Big screen at half court, no whistle.
Oh, little Foley comes down with that rebound.
Well, Hockey that missed that time.
Oh.
Pass inside, knocked out of bounds.
She needed to shoot that, Lee.
Check this out.
Yeah, I think that's a good no call personally. I mean, she just bangs into it, but problem is a teammate needed to tell her it was there.
Cassidy Gangenbacher almost loses her footing, shoots it off the glass wide, gets it back, puts it up, and in, and she'll go to the line. That first shot was awful, but how about the rebound?
I totally agree. And it almost landed in her lap, but she had the presence to put it back up. She's a gamer. That extends the lead, though, to 8 points, and this could make it 9.
She's headed to Lindenwood for college basketball, makes the 3-point play, and it's a 9-point lead once again for Quincy Notre Dame.
I'll tell you what, she's going to make Lindenwood a much better team. She's a nice player.
And Paul Brenner goes timeout. He's like, I've seen enough of Mary Bennett Swanson at point guard.
Dribbling, yeah, he says that makes every coach nervous.
How about a do-over? Did you have do-overs?
Don't you wish?
We had him back on the East Bluff in Peoria.
Yeah, a good timeout for Paul Bretner to try and get his kids a little bit reorganized. Down 9, they won that 3rd quarter, 12-11, but they've got a lot to pick up now to come back.
You a superstitious player or coach at all?
No, not really. No, it was all about execution.
A lot of superstition on the Vernon Hills side.
Is that right?
Sydney Smith and Lauren Webb hug before the game. They have to as we listen to the Liberty High School band. Lauren Webb has a right and left Nike socks. You can't wear 2 right socks. Yeah. Mary Bennett Swanson changes the record on the board. Nobody else is allowed to do that. And Sid and Lauren sit together at away games. I'm not sure if this is considered an away game or not.
Yeah.
That's just some of the superstitions going on.
That's a riot.
All right, Montini with the 3rd place win earlier today. We've got this one still in doubt. Whitney Young and Huntley tonight. Marion Catholic and Rolling Meadows tonight for the 4A state championship right here on IHSA TV network. Boys action from Peoria the next 2 weekends.
Don't you know, Vernon Hills, they've been here last year. They want to take home a first place trophy. Nice defense by Gingenbacher.
Preston Gingenbacher the takeaway. Sister Cassidy now gives it up. Foley, nice little move, pull-up jumper won't go. Frericks there on the offensive glass. Jordan Frericks averages over 8 rebounds a game. She gets an offensive one there and the putback.
Looks like we're going to see Gingenbacher guarding Lauren Webb, trying to keep her from touching the ball here. Huge height advantage. And that was really smart of Vernon Hills.
Gingenbacher for 3. She is lighting it up today. Cassidy Gingenbacher with her 5th 3. She's got 18 points to lead all scorers.
Eric Owner said she is the clutch scorer, and she certainly is showing that today.
Look at the hustle by Foley. Get a quick jump ball call.
Jump ball, Vernon Hills possession.
Paul Bretner asking for an explanation on the sideline.
I think he thought there was a foul in there, but good effort by Foley.
12-point Quincy Notre Dame lead. They led 15-2 early. That was their biggest lead of the game. Lahaki off the glass. Nice little.
She did that yesterday and did a nice job. 7 points, 9 boards.
Hugenberg. And the foul on Sid Smith. She wanted a jump ball call. It'll be 2 free throws instead for Hugenberg.
As much as the calls were going against Notre Dame in the third quarter, tide has turned, but now Notre Dame's being aggressive, attacking the basket, and that creates those situations.
Mary Beth Hugenberg, a 10.6 rebound performance yesterday.
She's a 69% free throw shooter, so she's a good kid to have at the line. She played JV last year for Notre Dame, and she has stepped it up on the big stage.
Season high 21 earlier this year against Jacksonville. One of those rare nights that Gingenbacher or Frericks didn't lead the Lady Raiders in scoring.
True.
Webb down on one knee, and another jump ball call.
That's pretty interesting when you watch Notre Dame. They just wait for her to turn, and then they go for the ball like a crab out in the water.
My goodness, everywhere she turned there was a blue jersey.
That's amazing. Kristen Gingenbacher does not want to shoot that 3.
Her sister does, though.
Yeah.
Hugenberg gets the offensive rebound and draws the foul.
That's a 3rd foul on Webb, 3 on Bennett Swanson. They have 3 players with 3 fouls. Lahaki is their 3rd with 3 fouls. So both teams with 3 with 3, and Hugenberg with 4.
She's 4 of 5 now at the line today. She has 7, and it's a 14-point lead. That's the largest of the game for Quincy Notre Dame, going for their 3rd straight state title, the Final Four 44 when we come back.
IHSA Network Basketball is presented by Country Financial. What's your idea of financial security? Visit countryfinancial.com and we'll help you achieve financial security no matter where you're starting from.
Lee Hall, former ISU coach Jill Hutchison, Matt Rodewald back with you. 4:44 left, but it's been 3-3-3 for Quincy Notre Dame. Cassidy Gengenbacher, actually it's been 3-3-3-3-3.
Yep.
5 of 9, shooting 56% today for the senior.
That's good in any game at any level, but that's helped Notre Dame outscore Vernon Hills 12-4 in the first 3.5 minutes of this fourth quarter.
That'd be pretty good in a three-point contest with nobody guarding you.
Oh my, you got that right.
Lady Raiders take it away again.
Well, just as Vernon Hills was trying to get more aggressive. That was a big steal at the other end by Frericks.
Well, after yesterday's win where they saw a lead get away from them and still managed to win in overtime, Sydney Smith said, we're a team that finishes. And I think Quincy Notre Dame can say the same thing here in this game today. There's still time to go, but
You're right.
if things keep going the way they're going, they have really taken Vernon Hills' best shot and on their way to this third straight state title.
I think Eric Orn has done a good job scheduling some really tough competition during the season, putting his kids in tough situations where they've got to produce, and they're used to being in these situations.
8-0 against ranked teams this year, and that 3-day stretch where they beat Nashville, who won the 2A state title last weekend. Springfield, that's been here in 3A the last couple of years, moved up to 4A. And then they beat Rolling Meadows in overtime, who's playing for the 4A state title tonight.
Right.
You look at that, and then you look at some of the other teams they played, Columbia Rockbridge of Missouri. I mean, it's not like they're just sitting over there on the west side of the state and playing just.
You're right.
They're going out and finding tough competition.
And I'm sure they're having to go on the road to get it. People aren't coming to them, but I totally agree with that. Rockbridge is one of the top teams in 5A in Missouri as well.
Only 2 losses the last 3 years for Quincy Notre Dame. And those were both the teams from Missouri. As Cassidy Gengenbacher will pick up her 4th foul. Maybe a little too aggressive at half court there.
Exactly,
There's still time to play here.
That's a long ways away from the basket to waste a foul.
Those 2 losses, though, to teams in Missouri that went on to win their state championship back in 2011 and then again in 2012.
That's amazing. Both teams now with the 9 fouls, so both of them will be in a double bonus on the next foul.
Jump ball as Hugenberg got the rebound, and it'll be Vernon Hills' ball with 3:51 left. Quincy Notre Dame, their largest lead of the day, 15 points. It was 15-2 early.
That was a nice play by Vernon Hills, running 2 kids off of double screens.
And that'll be Foley with her 4th foul.
These are key kids with 4 fouls for Notre Dame, but obviously Eric Orn's not going to sub them off the floor right now.
10th team foul, Sydney Smith.
So look at the free throw disparity today. Quincy Notre Dame getting to the line, and
That's
65%, that's okay, that's not great.
Yeah, it's surprising they've shot it that many more times when they both are sitting here with 9 and 10 fouls.
Sydney Smith now with 8 points. Foley will come out with those 4 fouls.
Freshman Erica Obert took her place. Nice ride. Wow. That foul on Sid Smith, I think.
Cassidy Gengenbacher has 4. Foley has 4 for Quincy Notre Dame. Bennett, Swanson, and Webb with 3 each for Vernon Hills.
Took 2 shots.
Hugenberg also has 4 for Quincy Notre Dame. Kristen Gengenbacher having herself a nice little state tournament this weekend. She had 13 yesterday. She's in double figures again today.
Well, she's the one handling the ball most of the time, pressuring the point guard. She's done it. She's done it at both ends of the court today. They're upholding the tradition of the Gengenbacher family, I think.
12 for Kristen. Lauren Webb, nice drive into the lane.
Lauren Webb.
She's got 17 to lead Vernon Hills.
It's interesting how players are having to back off now because of their foul trouble.
Eric Orr trying to call timeout. He asked for it 4 times and finally gets it.
Yeah, we can hear it clear over here.
3:14 left in this one. Lady Raiders up 13, but Eric Orr did not want to turn things over there.
Well, that leaves each team on the reset with 1 timeout, both in a double bonus, and Quincy with the possession arrow right now. Don't you know they're just drawing up all kinds of plays in those huddles, and Quincy keeps showing a little bit different look in their defense, but I think Vernon Hills has done a lot of the same thing.
Let's go over to Matt Rodewald.
Well, we've seen year in and year out the individual talent for Quincy Notre Dame, but for Cassidy Gangenbacher, just yet another first-team All-Stater on those Lady Raiders for Quincy Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think it's a really special accomplishment for us, and I mean, I think definitely all the hard work and effort that we put into each practice and every game that we play pays off, and I just think our practices are always really competitive and we're always pushing each other, so I think it just shows in the end that hard work pays off.
It's about to pay off if things don't change here in the final 3-14 with a 3rd straight state title.
I think she nailed a really important concept, and that is having competitive practices. And the more kids push one another, and it's hard for some girls to do that to one another. They like to be sure everybody likes them instead of being so competitive. And you can tell Notre Dame has got that competitive edge.
Well, and you talk to Eric Orr, and that's really when things turned around with him at the helm. And, you know, you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 state trips since 2008, and that formula does work.
It does. Boy, Notre Dame starting the 4 corners really early with over 3 minutes in the game, but they've got some ball handlers. Great passing by Notre Dame right now, really opening the floor up.
It's a 13-point lead for Quincy Notre Dame. They take a little air out of the clock. Air out of the ball, I should say. And Bree Ballman says that's enough of that.
Yeah, I'm surprised they waited so long to foul. They lost over a minute and a half.
Their 3rd personal foul.
But with only 2:17 left, there's not a lot of time to make up 13 points or 14.
Gangenbacher now with 19 points. And you talk about the tough schedule. We were talking about that a moment ago. How do you rate? Well, Quincy Notre Dame played 2A ranked Nashville, 3A ranked Champaign Centennial, 3A ranked Springfield Southeast, 4A ranked Springfield, 4A ranked Rolling Meadows, and you mentioned Columbia Rockbridge ranked in Class 5 in Missouri. I mean, it's just, Eric Orange challenged his team all year long.
You're right, and I think that has made a world of difference for them. And yet, Vernon Hills, what a season they have had. I mean, I think their win in their conference finals against Zion Benton, 51-50, was huge. The Cougars, first time a Prairie Division team has won the North Suburban Conference, and that was just a great accomplishment for them.
Under 2 minutes to go now. It's a 15-point Quincy Notre Dame lead. 3 Lady Raiders in double figures. Cassidy Gangenbacher with 20. Her sister, Kristen, with 12. And Jordan Frericks with 14.
In spite of the fact Quincy's got 3 kids with 4 fouls, they're hanging tough.
And Kristen with the free throw. So that's 33 points for the Gangenbacher family.
Quincy playing with just 8 kids today, and all 8 have really contributed.
14 points for Kristen Gengenbacher, and it's just about all over but the shouting here. Sydney Smith won't go. Sydney Smith comes up with a takeaway, though, gets it back. Can't get it to fall that time either.
Frericks wings it down. Oh, I'm not sure if she saw her teammate or not and just decided not to go for that easy layup.
I think she saw her.
Yeah, I think she did.
she did and thought, hey, it's situation.
Yeah, we've got to run clock here. How's that for control? They are just a very well-coached, well-disciplined team. Yeah, she looked right at her. That's no question she saw her there. Eric Gorn is finally taking a deep breath over there on that sideline. I think he's feeling a little more comfortable about his chances to pull this one out.
Both free throws missed. Sydney Smith the other way. And just because they're up 17, the Lady Raiders continue to play that defense that they're so famous for.
I mean, they got bodies flying everywhere still. He's going to take out his starters now.
Mary Beth Hugenberg comes out. 17 points this weekend in the state tournament. Lauren Webb, a double-double in this game despite the miss. 17 points, 10 boards.
Yeah, Webb with the foul right there. That's going to be her 5th foul and send her to the bench. Double.
And what a weekend she's had.
Yeah, she has. She's played a great tournament.
21 yesterday, 17 today.
Both coaches emptying their benches now.
She'll be back for a senior year. Great run for Vernon Hills to get back to the state championship 2 years in a row. And the 2 first-team All-Staters come out for Quincy Notre Dame.
What an
Tears on both sides.
Yeah, for Notre Dame to win in 2A and then step up to 3A and win the thing again, that is unbelievable. That record will stand for a long time, I predict.
23.
No team has ever won, no girls team ever won back-to-back state titles in different classifications. No boys team ever has either, I don't believe.
I would doubt it, and a lot of these kids were on both of those teams. Cassidy Gengenbacher waiting to come out, as is her sister.
And the take and the finish for Abby Graw, the senior. So a memory for her to take with her. Hard to believe this was a 4-point game at one time.
I was just going to say, this doesn't feel like a 19-point ball game.
Casey Fernbach with the bucket. And a dominant performance for the Quincy Notre Dame Lady Raiders. They win their 3rd straight state title. Quite an accomplishment for the Lady Raiders as they win their 3rd straight. They go from 2A to 3A, and it didn't matter. They run the table 30-0.
Look how classy Vernon Hills is being, though. I mean, they're just keeping their chins up and being very gracious in their loss. But, yeah, you can tell this means a lot to Quincy Notre Dame. Those kids have worked hard all year to get where they are today. That's a huge accomplishment.
The Lady Raiders, their experience really showed here this weekend. They got off to that 15-2 start today. Yesterday they were up 12-0, 24-5, 35-8. I mean, they were just ready from the opening bell.
They were.
And that made a lot of difference in these 2 wins. Let's go over to Matt Rodewald. He is with Cassidy Gengenbach.
Well, another big game for her on this stage, 20 points and another state championship. Describe this feeling.
There's no words to describe it. I have the best teammates, best coaches you could have asked for all throughout my high school, and it's really, I'm speechless right now. It's just an awesome experience, and I'm so blessed and thankful to have been a part of all the opportunities.
How special has it been just go from 2A to 3 and yet another dominant weekend? What does it say about this program?
Yeah, I just think that it shows how hard we work. I mean, we give 100% every day at practice and all of our games, and so it's just nice to be recognized and awarded for all the hard work that we put in every day.
We've talked about your sister, your older sister Carly, and Kristen, and Kendra someday. The Gengenbacher legacy, you end a wonderful career. How special has that been to you?
Yeah, I mean, my family's so motivational, and so to be able to do this my senior year with Jordan and Abby is just incredible.
Well, congratulations to you, Cassidy, and we'll talk to your coach, Eric Orrin. A wave of emotion for you. What does this mean to you?
Can't really describe it. It's just been a lot of hard work, and these kids just deserve every minute of this, and just so happy for them right now. They truly are the star power. They're just great kids, and they've taken me on this great ride.
You and I talked last year about how it was 50-point games, and going from 2A to 3 it'll be a different challenge. How was that challenge now the year's complete? What's it been like looking back?
It's been it's just a great accomplishment, and it goes back to my coaches Kevin Meyer and Mark Longo helping me out, and they just do tremendous things to make these girls inspired, and I'm kind of choked up right now. It's just amazing. I'm just happy for them. I want them to enjoy this moment forever.
And you watch Cassidy go and Jordan as well. How much have they meant to just bringing this program to where it is?
Hell, they're the stars. They're the all-staters, 4-year starters. Just did a tremendous job, and way to walk out on Redbird a champion.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Eric Orrin, the head coach of Quincy Notre Dame, winning its 3rd straight state title, joining Teutopolis, Bolingbrook, and Montini as the only schools ever to do that. Our trophy presentation for the 1st and 2nd place awards.
Presenting the awards are members of the IHSA Board of Directors, including Board President Dan Klett from Wakanda, Dr. Chuck Nagel from East Peoria High School, Deborah Pitts of Civic Memorial, Dr. Jeanette Knuckles of Urbana University High, and Dr. James Quaid of Marmion Academy. At this time, please meet the Cougars of Vernon Hills High School, who finished the season in 2nd place with a record of 31 wins and 3 losses. First, meet the superintendent, Prentice Lee. Principal Ellen Swick. Athletic Director Brian McDonald. Trainer Kirsten Rouse. Head coach Paul Bretner. Assistant coach Andy Bitta. Assistant coach Avelino Cortez. Assistant coach Rob Nardini. Assistant coach Laura Nardini. Manager Nick Foley. Manager Nayeli Sita. And the Cougar squad members, Sydney Smith. Mia Plisky. Haley Lieberman. Alina Lehaki. Catherine Kozwara. Casey Fernbach. Katie Bretman. Monica Ballman. Bree Ballman. Kristen Guglielmi. Tori Smith. Shannon Healy. Kelly Hull. Lauren Webb. And Mary Bennett Swanson. At this time, let's meet the Lady Raiders of Notre Dame High School, who finished the season in first place with a record of 30 wins and no losses. First, meet the principal, Mark McDowell. Athletic Director, Bill Connell. Trainer, Jay Zanger. Head coach, Eric Orn. Assistant coach, Kevin Meyer. Assistant coach, Mark Longo. And the Lady Raiders squad members, Shelby Ulrich. Kristen Gengenbacher. Olivia Heyer. Abby Graw. Erica Obert. Cassidy Gengenbacher. Quinna Keating. Jordan Frericks. Maggie Schwartz. Mary Beth Hugenberg. Sarah Arnold. Cassidy Foley. And Hannah Marcola. And now will Coach Bretner and the captains from Vernon Hills High School please step forward to receive the second place trophy.
Well, our congratulations to Paul Bretner and Vernon Hills on making back-to-back state championship games. They finished 31-3, and to Eric Orn and Quincy Notre Dame, well, they joined the Immortals with that one, 3 in a row.
They do, and you can see the emotion on the faces of the coaches and the kids, how meaningful this is to all of them.
And the tears of joy, but tears also maybe realizing that this is something special that, you know, you talk to pro athletes and they say, I still remember that high school game or that high school, their career and the special times of winning a state championship that you don't have those kind of feelings ever again.
I think it is special. Your family's there, your friends, the entire community, and what a crowd for Quincy Notre Dame this entire tournament. It is something they will remember the rest of their lives, and that's what Eric Gorn said.
Been a really great weekend. I just want to say very quickly how much we appreciate the class of all four coaches, the way they've handled themselves and their programs down here. Jason Nichols, Bob Becker, Paul Bretner, and Eric Gorn. Congratulations to them. You guys are what athletics are all about. We appreciate what you have done and bring your teams here to stay. It's been a very memorable weekend. Congratulations to our state champs. We've got 4A basketball coming up tonight on the IHSA TV network. For Matt Rodewald, Jill Hutchison, Lee Hall, so long from Normal.